Hey, what's up? Dusk the Viking here. Welcome to the guide for Mission 6. In Mission 6, they basically teach you combat mastery, the value of headshots and dodging and all that stuff. So you start out, you get into the cabin, you get your nail gun. There's really nothing else for you to get. So right off the bat, you are going to be stuck doing headshots. Now, there's an optional boss you can do if you get the hand. You'll get Pablo, who will come in. He's pretty easy to beat. Headshot him up, dodge him, and when you dodge him, he backs off and gives you a chance to shoot him up a little bit more. So your dodge timings are pretty easy. Just, have your finger on the dodge button when he starts charging, ready to go. Dodge, and then, he'll back off and let you shoot him up. He's super easy. You kill him, and you'll get a little amulet that you can use. Honestly, I don't think you really need this amulet here. You can just skip that guy if you want to. And then you collect the pages and you're on Tamiya, and it's same thing. But really abuse her spawn in, because she just stands there, and it makes it very easy to headshot her. And then you just back up and dodge down the hallway. And once the nail gun depletes the stagger bar, the additional headshots will then cause them to stagger in place, making them easier to then headshot again. So this first little bit might be really hard at first until you realize what you need to do. There are two little random mini-bosses on this road, one on the bridge and this guy here. They're pretty easy to defeat. Just, do double dodges when they come in and swing, and then back up and headshot them up. And that's pretty much it. I don't think these mini-bosses are worth doing, and honestly, I would just avoid them, and instead go straight over here to Pain Manor. Or is this the other one? I always get them confused. But here's where you fight Arthur, and this is actually a tough fight, but you really, really want this guy's legendary sword, which is what you get when you kill him. And it's the same thing, he's going to charge at you, and you're going to dodge, and then trade places with him, and then headshot him. And again, if you notice, once that stagger bar is gone, you can really just kind of stagger him with additional headshots. And if you want, you can do melee on him as well, which I will showcase a full melee fight with him. But for here, we just do the headshots, and we do them kind of sloppy. And, collect the sword and the colas. And this is what you'll need for your next fight. This fight here is your first, you have to do this. This is not optional. Before this fight, you can run up here and grab some stuff. This might be the first place that you get a clue. You'll sometimes see a little quest item up here, and it will give you your optional locations. That's what shows you that King Arthur is over at the one manor there, if you want to go fight him. And absolutely you do, because this pulpit fight, which you have to do, is really hard with the nail gun, but the sword makes it a breeze. You just come down here and hack stuff up, and basically just keep your finger on your dodge button, and just watch them for their attacks, and the second they start to attack, just hit the dodge button. Even if you're attacking, you'll cancel out of the attack and just dodge. There will be two characters that you have to defeat, two, bosses, essentially, as well as a bunch of other little spawns. With the legendary sword, you only really need to hit them once, and then you can execute. And it's worth it to go ahead and execute those, because every single extra deadite will drop loot, which is why you really don't need to kill the mini-bosses. You can just execute the crap out of a bunch of these little deadites and just get a ton of loot right here. And then once you're ready to go ahead and kill this guy, you just go ahead and mop him up. Keep that finger on the dodge button. If you get down to about 60% health, go ahead and heal up at 60%. Don't risk your health, because sometimes you go to heal and you get hit and get staggered. And, don't forget, when you're doing the execute animations, you are invincible. So use those to avoid damage if you need to, and then heal up as necessary. Collect all the loot, and then you're going to go on to your next required fight, which is at the sewer treatment plant. And it's pretty much the exact same thing, but you do have more room here, so if you want to use the nail gun more here, absolutely you can, but I would still recommend using the legendary sword versus using the gray common nail gun, because it's a legendary weapon versus a great, right? It's just going to be easier to use this. And same thing, just spam your attacks, and as soon as you see an attack come out of them, have that finger on your dodge button, and you just hit it the second you see them attack. Or, you know, in that case, if you think you see them attack, you know, it doesn't require you to be absolutely perfect. Make a few mistakes. The game throws just an absolute ton of soda at you, so just heal at your discretion. No big deal. Which honestly makes this one of the more fun missions to do. It gives you the resources to basically, you know, allow you to be a little bit sloppier and get through it, but at the same time, it does teach you that you need to get good at dodging, and it does teach you that headshots are really valuable and you need to do those. So it is a challenging mission in that you do need to develop those skills, but it gives you enough resources and amulets and sodas that once you get those skills down, you can, you know, like, you don't have to play perfect after that. You can take some hits and get beat up, and everything will be just fine. Now, here's the final fight where we get the defibrillator. This is where we have to fight Mia. This is the hardest fight here, and you can really use any of the weapons you want. You can use the nail gun, the sword. You can use the gold syringes if you want. Again, I will show you this fight done both ways. First, we'll do a combination of sword and nail gun, which, you know, it's not going to be executed perfectly because it doesn't have to be. Just, you know, get some good dodges and make sure you heal before you get too low. Use the sword, use the nail gun. Now, the nail gun, if you can land the headshots, you'll notice that it does outdamage the sword, though. But that's how Evil Dead does their balance. The weapons, the ranged weapons, are more powerful, but they're limited by ammunition, whereas the melee weapons, you know, are limitless. They never run out of ammo. You never have to reload them. But their drawback, of course, is they don't do quite as much damage as the ranged stuff. It's a really good balancing point, in my opinion. I think it's a really good setup. But yeah, so we're sitting here, we're doing some headshots. We get a lot of headshots there, do a lot of damage. Do a little bit of sword action here. Now, I go for the execute right here, but I also could have backed off and just started headshotting for stagger. And honestly, the staggering headshots would have probably just been better, but, you know, the executes are fun to do. And once Tamiya goes down, the mission completes and you're good to go. Now, real quick, I'm going to go ahead and show you the other fights where we focus on doing melee-heavy stuff. I show this first fight, again, really quick, just like, yeah, do your headshots. You don't have to worry about Pablo. Skip Pablo. And then after you're done with that fight, there's another house that you'll see a little sword icon over here on your map. If you come over here, they've got a set of blue syringes, and then a little clue that, again, says, hey, optional fights, and then this is, again, you know, what leads you to Arthur. Now, in this example, I do pure melee. We don't do any headshots. It takes longer, but as long as you do your dodges, you know, you're ready to go. You just dodge the hit. Keep your finger on that dodge button and just watch for his attack animations. And, you know, if you get low, heal up. Really, that's all you need to do. And if you do find amulets, you know, I like to put the amulet on before the fight, but I don't bother with the amulets in the middle of the fight because you just don't get as much from using an amulet as you do from using a soda. So amulet up before the fight, but in the fight, just use your sodas. Don't worry about the amulets. Those are more about just making sure you get to start the fight with a little bit more cushion. Yeah, it's pretty straightforward here. I switch up between using a lot of lights and a lot of heavies. It seems like overall the heavies are a little bit better. They do about the same damage, but you benefit from what appears to be a little bit more stagger bar damage. Not a huge difference on the syringes, though. Probably a bigger difference once you get into multiplayer and you start tech treeing and stuff. Here in this mission, it doesn't appear to matter all that much. I think it's more just like a preference for the most part. But yeah, there we go. Just pure melee. Took out the old Arthur. So you can do that any way you want. And then here we are at the Mia fight. I dropped the sword for the syringes. which is, they're not as good as the sword. I'll just tell you that right now. But they're really close. They're close enough, and honestly, they work decent enough. And while this fight does take a little bit longer doing only melee, it still works out just fine, and of course we don't have to worry about ammo or anything. And it's a lot easier to keep the other Deadites cleaned up. You know, they pop over, and you just hit them once or twice and do your execution, which will make you invincible, which can help you avoid a little bit of side damage. And again, you know, once you get down to like 60% health, go ahead and pop the heal. Don't be greedy with your heals. This mission gives you a ton of heals. I think we get down to 60% right here. Yeah, I just go ahead and pop the heal right there. Like, don't even get close. Like, why even risk it, right? All these Deadites are even dropping more heals. I think they're all over the ground right now. But yeah, so we just kind of keep in and watch for attacks and just keep your thumb on the dodge button, and that's it, you know? It's really pretty straightforward, and it's a really fun fight. This mission was probably the funnest mission out of all of them once I got it down. It was pretty straightforward. Everything was communicated well. It was, you know, a little challenging at first, but once I figured out what it wanted me to do, it was really fun to sort of execute it. You know, and we kind of got to play through a little taste of things, you know, a little nod to the movie that these characters are from. You know, we got the blood rain effect here at the end, and just a lot of really cool stuff. A really, really fun mission. And here we are, going in for the finisher here on Mia. I think I just switch over to heavies for the end part here, just so I can get a few more executions for free damage. I let myself get a little low there, but yeah, I think I get a little sloppy here. I start taking a lot of damage. So anyway, that's pretty much this mission. The fights here are really challenging, but they don't feel as oppressive, which makes them a lot more fun. Excellent mission. Anyway, also, don't forget to check out Sneak Energy. It's the best powdered energy drink on the market, and they've been sponsoring me for almost 2 years. I've been using Sneak for 2 years. Absolutely love it. And thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next video.